Hi friends, Shalom, Lila Tov. It's Maggie and I'm here for Bedtime Shema. Shh. Shema. Bedtime and stories. And I have well, it's not really mine, my daughter's trusty unicorn. Again, she said I could use it tonight. And I hope you have your lovey, and I hope you've brushed your teeth, and I hope you've washed your face. I hope you've told your parents how much you love them. And I want to also say happy Tu B'Shvat. Tu B'Shvat. Does anybody know what that is? We're celebrating the birthday of the trees. Yeah. So I have a book about Tu B'Shvat and a song about Tu B'Shvat. So now I need my glasses. Do you have your glasses? All right. Okay, unicorn. There you go. I think the unicorn's gonna go to bed too. Here are my glasses. These are my glasses. This is my book. I put on my glasses and open up the book. And I read, read, read. And I look, look, look. I put down my glasses and whoop! Close up the book. Oh my goodness. My book has a spider in it. It does. Here, I'm gonna show it to you. It's a nice spider. Sammy the spider. Have you ever read a book about Sammy? He knows a lot about different Jewish holidays. Sammy the spider, his first Tu B'Shvat. Look at this tree. It's written by Sylvia A. Rouss and illustrated by Katherine, Janus, Kahn. A book of seasons. Sammy Spider was learning a new way to weave a web when he heard a scraping sound coming from outside the Shapiro's kitchen window. "Look, Mother," said Sammy. "What are Josh and Mr. Shapiro doing?" What do you think they're doing? "It's early spring, and they are planting," answered Mrs. Spider. Sammy watched as Josh and his father lowered the roots of a small tree into the hole they had dug. "Will we plant a tree too?" asked Sammy. "Silly little Sammy," said Mrs. Spider. "Spiders don't plant trees. Spiders spin webs. Now watch me weave this pretty design into our web." But Sammy wasn't listening. He was watching Josh water the tree with the garden hose. "Trees need water to grow and lots of sunshine," replied Mrs. Spider. "Soon those little buds on the tree will blossom." Look at the pretty blossoms on the trees. Oh, looks like he's hanging a swing. There's lots of wonderful things that trees do for us. We can play on trees. We can look at the pretty trees. A few weeks later, when Sammy peeked outside, he noticed buzzing bees and fluttering butterflies dancing among the blossoming buds. "Mother," he shouted, "what are they doing?" "They are drinking nectar from the blossoms," she said. "Can I drink nectar too?" said Sammy. "No," laughed Mrs. Spider. "Spiders don't drink nectar. Spiders spin webs." As the days grew warmer, Sammy noticed fewer blossoms. Finally, there were none. "What happened to the blossoms, Mother?" asked Sammy. "It's summer now," said Mrs. Spider. "The blossoms have been replaced by green leaves." Just then, a bird swooped through the leaves and sat on a branch. She held a twig in her beak Sammy watched her fly off and return with more twigs. Look how much fun they're having on the swing, and look at all the trees and the green. What is the bird doing? Asked Sammy. She's building a nest. Soon she will lay eggs in a few weeks. Little birds will hatch from the eggs. Can we build a nest too? Asked Sammy. Silly little Sammy, said his mother. Spiders don't build nests. Spiders spin webs. Sammy woke each morning to the singing of the bird. He watched the eggs hatch and saw her feed her hungry babies. The baby birds grew, and one day when Sammy got up, the nest was empty. Mother, what happened to the birds? Asked Sammy. Mrs. Spider pointed to the tree. See how the green leaves have turned red and yellow? Fall is here, and the birds have flown south where it is warmer. Now, help me weave this pretty pattern into our web. Sammy wasn't listening. He heard a scratching sound coming from outside and saw the little squirrel climbing up the tree trunk. Mother, what is the squirrel doing? He's gathering food for the coming winter, she said. Oh, look at how much fun they're having in the leaves. Do you have fun in the leaves? Do you like to jump in the leaves? Each day, Sammy watched the busy squirrel. The leaves began to fall off the trees until one day there were no more leaves. The squirrel no longer came to climb the tree. It's winter, and the squirrel is snug in his home, Mrs. Spider told Sammy. Sammy shivered. Mother, he whispered softly, my friends are all gone. The bees, the birds, the butterflies, and now the squirrel. Look, he's pulling a sled. There must be some snow. How many of you have gone sledding outside recently? Not all your friends are gone. The little tree is still here to greet you each morning. Look, there's Sammy and his mom. And look, I wove you a new blanket to keep you warm. Sammy wished he could share his blanket with the little tree. During the winter months, its bare branches were often covered with snow, and when the wind blew it, it seemed to tremble. One crisp winter morning, Sammy awoke to a delicious smell. Mrs. Shapiro placed a freshly baked date nut bread on the counter next to a basket of nuts and dried fruit. What's happening? Asked Sammy, looking down from his web. The Shapiros are celebrating Tu B'Shvat, the birthday of the trees. They will eat foods that grow on trees, and Josh will plant a sapling to celebrate the holiday, explained Mrs. Spider. Will we celebrate too? Asked Sammy. As Mr. Shapiro entered the kitchen. Silly little Sammy. Spiders don't celebrate Tu B'Shvat, said his mother. Spiders spin webs. Sammy came down off his web. He hopped onto Mr. Shapiro's cap just as he went outside to shovel snow away from the base of the little tree. While Mr. Shapiro worked, Sammy climbed onto the tree and began crawling in and out through its branches. When Mr. Shapiro finished, Sammy jumped back onto his cap and they headed back inside. Where have you been? Asked worried Mrs. Spider. I wove a birthday blanket to keep my friend warm, Sammy announced proudly. Mrs. Spider saw the beautiful web shimmering in the branches of the little tree. It's lovely, she exclaimed. Happy Tu B'Shvat, little tree, shouted Sammy. And as the wind came up, a branch with a tiny little bud seemed to wave back at him. When you look out the window, do you think that tree branches sometimes wave at you? Silly Sammy. He was so interested in the world, wasn't he? All right, how about we sing Itsy Bitsy Akaveesh? Akaveesh is spider in Hebrew. So here's your little Sammy spider, your Sammy Akaveesh. The itsy bitsy Akaveesh went up the Mayim spout. Down came the Geshem and washed the Akaveesh out. Out came the Shemesh and dried up all the Geshem, and the itsy bitsy Akaveesh went up the spout again. The itsy bitsy Akaveesh went up the Mayim spout. Down came the Geshem and washed the Akaveesh out. Out came the Shemesh and dried up all the Geshem, and the itsy bitsy Akaveesh went up the spout again. Now, Tu B'Shvat isn't just about trees. It's about taking care of the world. It's about celebrating, taking care of the earth, taking care of each other, and loving everything around you. And we want to build a better world with love and peace and kindness. And one thing you can do to help the earth is to pick up after yourself and throw plastic bottles in the recycling and paper in the recycling. Maybe reuse something instead of throw it away. So there's lots of different things we can do to build a better world. And so there's a really fun song I like to do by Allard and Peter Allard. And it has sign language. Okay, so first we do this with our fists. Building a better world. Building a better world. We're building a better world. One person at a time. We're building a better world. We're building a better world. We're building a better world. One person at a time. And the world goes round and round. The world goes round and round and round. And the world goes round and round. The world goes round and round and round. We're building a world with love. We're building a world with love. We're building a world with love. One person at a time. And the world goes round and round. The world goes round and round and round. And the world goes round and round. The world goes round and round and round. We're building a world with peace. We're building a world with peace. We're building a world with peace. One person at a time. And the world goes round and round. The world goes round and round and round. And the world goes round and round. The world goes round and round and round. Yes, it takes just one person to be kind and help. And then the whole world becomes a better place. Who's ready for our Shema? The world is one, God is one, we are with God. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Laila Tov, everybody. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you next time. Lahitraot.